Hello, Senior Stoner fan. Just a real Senior Stoner back at you for your dab of the day. Today is Monday. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Start of a work week for many people out there. Good luck out there. Today we're going to have a Crimson Card dab of the day with some hybrid diamonds. But before we get to that, I want to get to the topic of the day. By the way, here I am. I survived 4 days alone. And I couldn't have done it without some of the techniques and some of the tools that we talked about. So I hope to help you too. Today's topic is a topic that faces everyone. Probably not just people in pain, but I'm going to focus on us. Food. Food we eat, or the food we can't eat, and pain. How does food affect pain? Are there triggers? Are there triggers, types of food that even more than, let's say you have IBS like I do, or Crohn's disease, which is worse, or some of the other horrible internal things people can have. Certain foods you can't eat. Even if you're on a FOD diet, still you have to be very, very careful how you eat. If you're subject to diverticulitis, you have to watch what you eat. If you're subject to pancreatitis, if you've lost your gallbladder, you just have to watch what you eat, or you can trigger abdominal issues. But I want to go beyond abdominal issues, and I want to talk about food and how it affects pain. I think they're tied extremely closely together, food and pain. Let's autopsy it, if you will. Let's take it apart for a second. The greater pain we're in, a lot of times we don't have appetite, we don't want to eat. But sometimes when the pain we're in is so bad, we need comfort food. You all know the term comfort food. Not the healthiest food out there, but a lot of times that's what you need to eat when you feel like crap. Whatever your comfort food is. So, that's not necessarily a great thing. Because you know, and we all know, that we're not active, particularly people, because of the physical pain. And when you eat that type of food, that's not helping our bodies necessarily. But it is making us feel better for the moment because they call it comfort food. But how does comfort food affect chronic pain? Could it make us worse even? Should we look at other options? The reason I talk about this is that I have world of experience in eating disorders, unfortunately. I don't want to get too much into it. My mother died at 54, 62 pounds, and anorexic. She basically starved herself to death. And we didn't know about it back then. If you remember, there are famous people, Karen Carpenter, Quinlan, there are famous people that had anorexia and it became public. But it was after my mother passed away. So I became interested in how food affects the body. My sister and I used to talk about it a lot. And what I've come to reason is you can be more gentle on your body. Here's how. And it's not just because I've had oral pain for 3.5 years and had to eat differently. Softer foods. Sometimes softer foods are easier for the body to process. They don't hurt so much going through the process. Those of us who are sensitive like that have learned that. Sushi, for example. Fish, for example. Cooked chicken, for example. And I'm only using these basics as an example. There are plenty of things out there that people can eat comfortably. But what I'm trying to identify for us is, are there things that cause greater pain? Yes. Ready? Alcohol. You're going to go, what? I just had 3 scotches last night and it made me feel great. Well, it might have made you feel great, but there's a payment you're going to have to pay for that sooner or later. So you've got to be really careful if you drink alcohol. And I mean really careful if you drink alcohol. Did I say really careful if you drink alcohol? Because when you're in chronic pain like we are, the tendency is not to go and have one of anything. The tendency is to have as many as it takes to make you not feel the pain. So be careful on that. And this is not a reborn again person. I just don't drink. And the reason I never drank is because I've always taken pills that would react negatively and I didn't want to die at a young age, etc. So, food and pain. How about food we eat out? How does that affect us? Well, just getting to the restaurant and sitting at a restaurant can be hard. Even sitting at our own kitchen table or dining room table can be hard. Even sitting up can be hard sometimes. How do we deal with it? We try to make it more convenient for ourselves. I can't tell you how many nights me and Mrs. Stoner sit on snack tables, sit in the TV room and eat on snack tables. I can't get to the kitchen. It's been too painful for me. I've had a really hard time. She understands it. She's that kind of person. She comes and sits with me. Or if I have to leave the kitchen table quickly to go back and sit quietly in a more reclined position. That might be the solution here for people in horrible pain. Eat what you can while you can. Does that make any sense? But be careful. And the careful part isn't how you chew or even what goes into your stomachs. The careful part is how do you do it? Do you push yourself to sit at the table with your family the entire time that meal is served? Or when you're done eating, do you say, listen, everybody, you all know, and they're going to say, please go, rest, lay down? Or do you have too much ego to do that? Do you still go out to restaurants and everybody looks at you and say, hi, how are you? You look great. And you say, hey, how are you? And everybody thinks everything's fine. Do you still do that? Well, you know what? That is the kind of eating and the kind of food situation that I'm talking about that hurts your pain. I'll say it again. That's the kind of thing in the situation that hurts your pain. This is not a time in 2020 to hide from who we are anymore. This is a time to come out, and I wish there was a color for it. Maybe we should be simple and use black and blue, like we've been beat up. Black and blue should be the flag colors of people carrying the pain we carry with us. Sugar needs a haircut today. I'm just going to bring up a point here. That is my only activity, is to get that dog to the groomer. Yet I have to manage the hours before it, think about every step during it, and I've eliminated 2 or 3 things I thought I could do. I'm not. And I'm going and I'm coming. Why? The same reason we've got to be careful with food, with pain. Not the food. It's not the love for the animal. It's the things we have to do because of it. It's the things we need to do for the food. You want to have a great sushi dinner, but the great sushi dinner is 12 miles from your home. Good luck. Good luck. Because not only do you have to get out of your house, you have to get into a car, out of a car, into a place, out of a place, back in a car, out of a car, and back in your house. There are many, many moves. You know, origami, I don't know how to do it, but you know what it is, all those folded things? It's what this is like. That is what eating is like with chronic pain. Because it's not just what food do I eat. Good. How do I get to the table? How do I sit at the table long enough to eat? Yesterday, and I'm not going to be proud of this, I'm just going to say it. I have casters, wheels, on our kitchen set. During dinner, I didn't stand. I had a really bad time, so I had an ice pack around my lower back with a strap, and I stayed in the chair and used my feet and got around fine. It was kind of embarrassing as I did the dishes, okay? Why? Because that's part of eating. Cleaning. That's part of eating. Getting the food out of the refrigerator. It's part of eating. Getting it out of the oven. I've even learned which shelf in the oven to use, which is more comfortable for me. I can't bend to the bottom anymore, so I don't put food down there. Even though it's a convection oven, I don't use it anymore. I use it on top. Mrs. Stoner uses the bottom oven. I can't get to it. I'm not messing with it. So food and pain are extremely closely related, because all the things we have to... How about going out and getting your food at the supermarket? Did I mention the aisles? Okay? How about getting out of your car and in your car? And out of your car and in your car? And out of your car and in your car? Need I say more? This is not about just what goes in our mouths. It's about what we have to do to feed ourselves. So let's all try to be careful. Let's this week make a promise to ourselves that each day, if we did 5 things on our list, if there are 5 things on our list, only do 3 and don't feel bad about it. Let's do less instead of more. Less. I'll say it again. Instead of more. Shall I say it one more time? Less instead of more. That is the secret to dealing with the pain and the secret to dealing with the food we need in order to live while having this pain. The pain ain't going anywhere, but we still got to eat. Let's take this delicious dab, and I apologize in advance if I become a coughing idiot. When I take a nice hit like I intend to, sometimes it happens. What can I say? I'm living dangerously on level 2 today. Here we go. Cheers. I need strength to get sugar to the hairdresser. Cheers. Very tasty. Very tasty. This Excellence brand has been a good purchase for me. Expensive, but very tasty, and they are potent. These are a sativa hybrid. Very tasty. Let's remember, not so much about what we eat, but about how we get there to get the food or eat the food, and how we eat it. How do we handle the kitchen table, the dining room table that's set? Do the best you can. This is The Real Senior Stoner. Have a great Monday. Cheers, everybody.